Ladies and gentlemen, football fans of North Central Ohio, you are now entering the Friday Night Pigskin. So get strapped in, lace them tight, and get right for big hits, top plays, and highlights. All coming your way from under the Friday night lights. The most exciting sounds and sights, gridiron action to serve your viewing delights. Let's go. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night. Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown! Throws it over the middle and he gets absolutely sauced. Friday night lights. Get hype, it's Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now.
With a share of the Firelands Conference title, as we are kicked off and underway here at the newly renovated Marsh Field. And the crease, there goes Carter Frater up the sideline. The scoring is going to get started here early for the McComb Panthers.
How about that? You question.
Of the Friday Night Pigskin, presented exclusively by our good friends at Spherion Mid-Ohio. I'm Brian Skowronski, back with you, burning the midnight oil again. A special time of year for all of us pigskin lovers out there. High school football, it's back, baby, here in the state of Ohio. And a shout out to Caden Schmid. I'm told that call that you just heard, opening play of the game, his first ever call on a football broadcast. Welcome to the OH Report family. So that's how that game began over at the Marsh. I can't wait to show you guys how the game ended tonight over at the Colt Corral. I was personally there to see the spectacle that was in the Valley. Perkins, last year's state runner-up in Division 4. Lots of dudes coming back, high expectations yet again for all the boys in the Pirate uniforms. But you can never count out the Clear Fork Colts, especially when they are playing at home. They lost 55-0 last year in this matchup. How would it shake out tonight? I got the moving pictures to show you all of the highlights from Belleville tonight. Packed house, of course, as you would expect. As I mentioned, second straight year that they would meet on opening night. No score. This is late second quarter, but Braden Hayes changes all that. Little short tutty run right here puts the Colts up 7-0. That was the score at the break. Take you now, opening drive of the third quarter. Perkins takes it down the field, caps off a touchdown drive here. Kading Logano with an 11-yard catch and run, juking out the defender too. And then legit after 5 cramp breaks, ensuing drive, Colts regain the lead. Marcus Hoflick to Ben Campbell, and that touchdown is good right in front of the Stampede. Clear Fork takes the lead back on top. Early fourth quarter coming up here, Sam Schweinfurth buying some time, and he is going to hook up with his favorite target on this night, Blake Parker. 15-yard scamper right into the corner of the end zone, and we are all square at 14 apiece. Closing seconds for the Pirates. They are just looking to punt here, force the game into overtime, but the snap is too tall. Grant Hickman has to dive on top of it, and the Colts are in business with just 3 seconds to go. Setting up Nash Evans for the kick, heard round the valley. You can book it, baby. That's right, Clear Fork, victorious on opening night at home. Stunning a lot of people out there in the collective football realm as the Colts get off to a fantastic start. They are 1-0 on the season, 17-14, your final score there. I gotta have one of the happiest people in America joining us right here and now as well. Aaron Brokaw calling in, fresh off of the victory. Coach, what is the vibe like right now out there in the Valley? And I gotta imagine you can probably hear parties going on left and right, all up and down the streets out there in Belleville.
Yeah, I think the guys are really happy. As a staff, we're really excited for the young men that we have in the program. They've made a big commitment over the past couple years to to have something finally break for him in the right way.
First career game as a kicker for Nash Evans. How impressed are you with his poise? A couple of timeouts consecutive, they try to ice him, and he's able to drill it like he was ready for the moment.
Well, I mean, Nash is a guy that he's played a lot of varsity football already, necessarily not as a kicker or a punter. But, I really feel like we played well on defense. We did some things that we needed to do on offense, but I think special teams was the difference tonight in our favor.
You struggled to find wins your first 2 seasons at the helm out there in Belleville. How different was the feeling heading into year 3 with all these returners, 8 starters on both sides of the football back?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of high-character kids in the program that are committed to not only each other, but to doing things the right way. And they just, they've kept their nose to the grindstone, and they continue to work, continue to take coaching, and, it's just great to see it finally pay off for those guys.
Obviously, this is a pretty big highlight, huge hype night for everybody that was involved, beating the defending state runner-up on opening night. How do you go up from here, Coach? How do you continue to build momentum with Zanesville coming to play your place next week?
Well, I mean, the thing that we've been on the kids about here over the past 2 seasons plus, we're a process-driven team, and so we're going to get into the film first thing in the morning, and there's going to be some things that we did really well, and there's going to be some things that we've got to get better and clean up for week 2. We already told the guys tonight, to enjoy it, but the sign of good teams, you really see that development from week 1 to week 2.
Well, congratulations. Hearing those victory bells chime out there on opening night. Couldn't be more proud of you and the boys for what you were able to accomplish, Coach. And I'm sure you won't have to buy a week probably or a drink the rest of the week out there in Belleville. So enjoyed this one. Good luck with the film study tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing you in action in week 2.
All right, thank you.
All right, Aaron Brokaw, the head man out there in Clear Fork. And hey, look at that guy, ray of sunshine. He's coming up here in a little bit. This is just a teaser for what's going to happen. We're going to be visiting with Southeast Ohio this year. So that's Evan Johnson. He's got a highlight coming up for you guys here in just a minute, but we're going to keep it here in Richland County. So you see Clear Fork getting off to a nice start, and the backyard rivalry. It has been Ontario getting the victories over Lexington the last couple of seasons. So a bitter taste and a lot of Minutemen fans' mouths. Let's show you how it shook out tonight with Lexington kicking it off against Ontario here in week 1. Start things off right away with Seven Allen. A 60-yard catch that would result in a Joe Caudill touchdown would make it 7-0. Minutemen coming out like a heat-seeking missile taking over, but Cooper Kilgore, remember the name, just a sophomore, but he breaks off an 85-yard run right here to make it 7-6, Lex on top. Lexington would later respond. 56-yard connection here, Dontrell Hughes. Look at the burners. We know that this dude is a track star. He shows it off there. Getting into Pater, it's 13-6 before Ontario would take a 15-6 lead. But here we go with Gavin Miller. After that 3-yard run, Seven Allen getting back into the end zone again. A 30-yard receiving touchdown makes it 22-13. The boys in purple on top at the half. Brandon Reeves would later make it 29-16 for Lex with that 15-yard rush, and Joe Caudill finishing off the game with the 1-yard rushing touchdown right there. So the Minutemen, they get off the schneid in this head-to-head Ontario. A lot of question marks for that team. Obviously, they graduate an all-time great in Bod Penn Miller. Plenty of seniors off that roster as well, and they bring back a very young supporting cast. Plenty of sophomores, including the starting quarterback that we saw tonight in Ramey. So kudos to Lexington. I was on a show a couple of nights ago over at WQEL and talking with Zach Holden, who's now going to be doing some reporting out in Richland County. Really felt like if they could get this win here, week number 1, would give them a great chance to start building some momentum and carry that into the rest of the season. I picked them, one of only 2 media members in the area, to win the OCC. Would love to see them prove me right. Last year, I was the only one to pick the Ashland Arrows as the winner of the OCC, and they got off to a nice start tonight with a victory. Do we have the gentleman who covered the game? Mr. Doug Haydett in the house. Looks like Doug has jumped off the call. We'll try to welcome him back in, so we'll take a quick commercial timeout. When we come back, we'll have an interview about the Ashland game. We'll have all the Thursday night football games that we just covered to show you the highlights of those, plus tons more still to come right here on the Friday Night Pigskin.
Friday night lights. Get hype, here we go now.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient.
Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain Trane heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local Trane comfort specialist.
Doug Hayded here in the house. Doug, we're just talking about a big OCC win for Lexington in their opener against Ontario. Ashland in a big game against Bay tonight. Obviously, high expectations are the OCC favorite this year. What did you see from the Arrows here in week one?
Over there.
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, you got me?
Yeah, talk to me about these Arrows and just what you saw from them tonight, opening night, coming out and shining.
Yeah, so huge start. Opening kickoff, Gabe Baith, senior, takes the opening kick back 85 yards for a touchdown. So obviously started it off the right way. The game was tied at 10 in the first quarter, and then Ashland scored the final 33 points, so ran away with it.
Talk to me about Bernhard, obviously big-time recruit, really special player. In your notes, you said that he was just kind of taking what was given to him today, didn't have to press the issue, and looked really sharp.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to let him go over the top tonight. That was the Bay coach kind of said that was their main focus, was just make him beat him with the small stuff, and he ended up running it for 68 yards, 2 touchdowns, and passing it for 16 to 23 for 158. Hit junior Killian O'Brien for a touchdown pass that put him ahead 17-10, and but yeah, really just kind of. Bernie kind of ground him down, didn't do anything huge like he's capable of, but like you said, took what was given, and the boys kind of all backed him.
If you can expand on the 33 unanswered points, this game's tied 10-10 after the first quarter. In what ways did you feel like Ashland and the coaching staff made a few adjustments and just kind of leaned on, obviously, their senior quarterback and some other dudes to pull away?
Yeah, really just Scott Valentine talked about how they made adjustments at halftime. The main thing was getting off the field on third down. I think Bay converted 2 of their first 3 third downs early, and then it was late in the third quarter before they converted another one. So really the defense made the adjustments, and then just a balanced attack really offensively. Grayson Baith, who's Gabe's junior brother, 11 carries, 92 yards, scored the game's last touchdown. Carson O'Brien, kicker for Ashland, had a huge night, hit all 5 PATs, 29-yard field goal, 38-yard field goal. So they were getting scoring from all over the place, and really just everybody kind of rallying together and kind of did a lot of what they did last year, really.
Well, it says it right in the name, but community stadium, it just kind of feels like that out there, and especially with the student section, Arrow Nation. What type of vibe are you getting from everybody kind of buying in community-wide to this Arrows team that comes in? Awesome season in 2024, looking to expand on that, of course, here in the new year.
Yeah, obviously, always good home cooking for Ashland at Community Stadium. I mean, it's always been a place that they can play really well. I think they're 12-1 in their last 13 at home, dating back to 2023. Obviously, ran the table there last year. They've got 6 home games in the regular season this year, then could potentially get 2 in the playoffs. So you could have 8 home games. Just really seems like they always take care of business there with Coach Valentine, and holding it down for the community at Community Stadium seems to be the trend. So.
You're doing the same thing right here on OH Report. Thanks for breaking it down for us, Doug. Looking forward to reading your article, buddy.
You got it. Thanks, Brian.
All right, so Doug Haydett of Source Media. Going to be following the Arrows all season long. What a special season they had last year. And so I'm very curious to see how it looks here in 2025. Do they even elevate and take a step up? Obviously, injuries can become a factor, but I think if they do keep everybody out on the field, it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and you don't want to overlook anybody, but certainly you think 9-10 wins in the regular season is not unattainable. You can't get to that mark unless you win your first game, though, right? Of course, out of the chutes. And on Thursday night, we had a 3-pack of games for you live and free right here on the OH Report, including a game up in Sycamore. Week 1 rivals now, Calvert and Mohawk. They went head-to-head yet again. We'll show you how this one shook out for Calvert on the road. Would not be quite the performance that they were expecting, because the new look Mohawk Warriors, led by Andon Klaus, would start things off with a 32-yard run. 6-0 here, Mohawk on top after the extra point was no good. And then how about the interception by Klaus, doing it on both sides of the ball, and he would rumble and bumble his way into the zone. It is now 12-zip after the 21-yard return. Asden Patrizzi with a 10-yard Russian touchdown right up the middle. 2-point conversion, good, and it would make it 20-0. The good times would continue to roll for the home team. It is 26-0 now after Braxton Frisch gets fresh on a 19-yard jaunt into the zone, and he liked it so much in the end zone, he would try to get back there very soon, and here he is, fourth quarter, just 2 yards this time, expanding the lead to 32-0. Calvert, though, wouldn't go away completely quiet. Here's Charlie Palm. 39-yard pass, touchdown, gorgeous dot, 32-6, so no running clock, but Andon Klaus, big night for him. He's going to find Caleb Bish, 24-yard connection to make it 39-6, and the Warriors off to a hot start here to 2025. They get the victory, 39-6. Heading onto the road here the next couple of weeks. They're going to be at Cardington, Lincoln, then at Ayersville. So a couple of teams that have been struggling. So legitimately, I think that you could see this team getting to 3-0 out of the chutes. Could be a very special season for the defending Northern 10 champs, and I don't think really anybody was picking them to win the conference last year in 2024. Carey had been running the show, Colonel Crawford had been stepping up, so all of a sudden, don't look now, but it could be the Warriors who might be in control there of the Northern 10, even though it is very early on. Another game that we had, actually no, I'm told we have a Friday night phenomeny coming up here in this game. Let's see him. Who do you got for me? Looks like we got to go with Klaus. I mean, this was probably a pretty easy decision when you look at the overall numbers, and when you're not only doing it as the signal caller and the leader out on the field, you're running it down their throat. and then the defensive interception that goes for a touchdown. Really special opening night. So if you didn't know the name, you've certainly learned it by now if you're a fan of the Mohawk Warriors or just a football fan in North Central Ohio overall. Huge night for Andon Klaus and the Mohawk Warriors. But we've also got a top play nominee coming in from this Thursday night game. Let's check out that hot cut and see what's going to be making your charts coming up on Monday when we put out the entire collection like we always do every week once the podcast gets back up and running, and I am definitely looking forward to doing that. Actually, I like keeping those under wraps until Monday, so we'll show you that along with the other collection. But I am going to bring in another handsome gentleman. I've got Joshua Banks joining me on set here now. And Josh, you are going to be our Marion County dude for a second consecutive season. And you saw what on paper I think a lot of folks thought would be a mismatch with River Valley going on the road, taking on Elgin. And despite losing their All-Ohio quarterback, it looked like the Vikings might be for real, dude.
Well, and when you're replacing Chase Ebert, who's All-Ohio football, All-Ohio basketball, he was 98% of their offense last year. And you've got a young man that comes out this year that hasn't played football since 7th grade. And he comes out and does what he did, as we're going to look at a highlight now. He's Mr. Do-It-All. He just doesn't have to run it. We're in a situation where you have two kids come out in Chase Smith and Carter Myers, haven't played football since middle school. And when the highlight comes up, you'll see Chase Smith throws for 254 yards and 4 touchdowns in his first varsity game.
Yeah, it's a pretty special night, and a guy that I don't think very many people around the area were talking about coming in and replacing a dude that's been such a stud. So really impressive performance from him to start things off. Here we go.
How about an 80-yard hook and ladder?
That's how you start the season.
Gate. That's how you start your varsity season as a quarterback. You throw it to your fellow senior Carter Myers, who gives it to the freshman Nolan Bailey, who takes it to the house, and they're not done yet. Smith and Myers are going to connect a few more times in this highlight, and they just showed their connection as this one goes from 35 yards. Hey, when you've got 6'5" on the edge, throw it up to him, let him go get it. And it's quickly 14-0 in River Valley. Elgin is going to answer, as you're going to see Jack Van Gundy, their senior, is going to punch it in from about 3 yards, and it's 14-8 as Elgin goes for 2. But Jay Hinton's going to punch it in from 2 yards out himself. The big fella, the 260-pound offensive lineman, is going to get in the books. And now you're going to see that connection. Chase Smith's now going to find the best athlete on the field, Eli Snyder, who goes up and catches one from 35 yards out. And River Valley at this point was just pouring it on, as now you're going to see Smith find that guy again. Carter Myers from another 30 yards. Myers has 2 catches, 2 touchdowns in his first game since 7th grade. And then to kind of close it all off, you're going to see Collins, the junior, Chase Smith replacement, finds Logan Krebs. How about River Valley go 6'5", 6'5" on the outside. Van Gundy's not going to go down quiet, though. They're going to punch one more in here. 42-15. Vikings roll in their opener as a brand new offensive unit.
So I think Elgin probably a little bit outmatched, a much smaller school, of course, in this head-to-head, but I like that they're getting the Marion County rivalry started here. Didn't expect quite the offensive outburst, though, that we got from River Valley. So do you think that it's kind of about the guys on the outside, or did the quarterback play have more to do with it than anything?
Well, I think last year when we seen River Valley, we seen it run through Chase Ebert, whether he was throwing it or running it. This year they've got true freshman Nolan Bailey in the backfield, and I bet he had 65, 70 yards on the ground. So they have a really good balance this year. Chase Smith walked up to us through the MVP interview, not a lick of dirt on his jersey. He didn't get touched once all night long. When your offensive line can protect that way, you're going to be very competitive in what's going to be an interesting MOAC this year.
Yeah, no question about it. I don't think anybody was really including them in terms of some of the favorites for the league. So obviously, Shelby Whippets are a team that's going to be up there. I love what we saw from Clear Fork tonight. From your estimation, from top to bottom, do you need to see more from River Valley to kind of guess if they're going to be in the mix? Or do you think that this is a team that can legitimately contend?
I think week 4, they're going to play at Harding. That'll be their test. They get Madison next week. They get Buckeye Valley week 3. They get into MOAC play. They go Harding, Shelby, bang, bang, right off rip. It's a tough stretch for River Valley. If they get one of those two, I see 9-1 in their future very easily. And if they somehow upset Shelby, 10-0 is very likely for the Vikings.
Wow. That is a bold statement here in week 1, sir. I appreciate it. Stay put. We're going to have you on here in just a minute for your game tonight, but let's keep it locked in on Thursday Night Football. And with that, I want to welcome in one of my favorite OH reporters, Mr. Jonathan Langdon from his new home down there in Columbus. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good now that I know that I'm your favorite OH reporter.
Now, I said one of. I can't pick all of my favorite children, but you're definitely in the mix, Jonathan. And because you're out there, you're working games Thursday and Friday for me this week. So just to get back in football mode, to fill those environments, how is kind of your mentality starting to shift?
Honestly, jumping in yesterday, it felt like a breeze simply because I was not prepping for anything. Jumping in, got to go watch Colonel Crawford put on a solid show, and then got to watch East Knox and Northridge put on a classic as well today.
All right, so let's start with those Eagles. Show me some highlights from how Colonel Crawford got off to a beautiful 1-0 start.
Yeah, so Colonel Crawford came out of the gates quick. Fairbanks went 7-5 last season, but they were no match for this new squad for Colonel Crawford that brought back a lot of returners. One of them right there, Connor McMichael, strikes first for the Eagles. And then we look at the Fairbanks offense trying to throw off the Eagles, but it doesn't seem like it works because Parker Weithman is right there for that interception. Very next play coming up, dropping back to pass. They're going to find Weithman yet again. So it's the pick one play. The next play, he gets in for his first touchdown of the contest. That makes it 14-0. Nice little celebration there, too. Back to the offense for Fairbanks. They struggled with the pressure, and with that, another interception for this Colonel Crawford team. Still in quarter number 1, by the way, as they celebrate, and we'll get to see yet another touchdown. This is the very next play, too. Look at the repeat. The one-handed catch from Parker Weithman. 2 touchdowns. All in just the first quarter. Also put an interception on the board as well for him. Moving on now, finally getting to that second quarter. It was a 21-0 score to get to this point. And then Weithman gets his third touchdown of the day early in the frame. And he runs this one 75 yards to the house. So that would make it a 28-0 game. They would put a score on the board as we head to the half. Look at this acrobatic play. Braden Holt staying alive in the play, throwing it out, and able to find his intended receiver and get the touchdown to extend that lead and finally get it to a running clock to where we would see Colonel Crawford let in a couple of the younger guys and get a nice little 42-7 win.
Dude, that's an impressive performance all the way across the board. We knew about the running backs, I think, and the offensive line that was returning for the Eagles. Where did this passing game come from? And it looked like they had weapons all over, right? It's not just Weithman.
Yeah, it felt like the entire team kind of came together, and I think their mission yet last night was to establish that passing game because the rushing game with McMichael only had about 85, 90 yards. Nothing crazy, maybe a little bit over 100 towards the end. But with McMichael out on the field, they were struggling a little bit. That offensive line, I think that's going to be the big thing they address next week in practice. But yeah, those receiving weapons have really stepped up. And I think that's what's exciting about this Crawford team because we knew they could run the football last year with Dom Dean and then also McMichael as well. But now you add some other pieces that you could go to the air with. So this Crawford team, sky's the limit, and I love their chances in the N10.
That's right, baby. And the Eagles, they know how to soar, of course. Everybody's pick, I think, to win the Northern 10. They did nothing last night to make us think otherwise. That was a blowout. You had quite the opposite tonight down in Howard. What transpired here tonight? And, wow, how did the Bulldogs end up taking a really tough loss at home?
Well, I'll tell you what. I jinxed the KMAC in the middle of the game. We were talking about how all of the teams were in the lead going into the half. And then East Knox, it was a rough ending. And we'll kind of get to how that happened here as we play the clips. So East Knox comes into this game. Last year they lost 8-7 to Northridge, so they were looking to try and get that win back on their home turf, but Braden Bingham was not having any of that. Look at that move to get the first touchdown of the game. However, here, 4th down and 10, mind you, Jax Lester finds Logan Clark, his number 1 target, in the end zone to try to tie it up. They missed the extra point, so they're down 1 as they keep on moving, and now they'll finally take that lead as they find Clark yet again in the end zone. Jump to the second half, finally getting that running game going. They lost a big piece in Elliott last year. This is Landon Boyd, the sophomore, who will take over for him. And then Bingham gets back into the game, puts some work in, gets another nice touchdown. This would bring it to a fumble where the pulling guard gets in the way of the snap. Northridge recovers. They've got a chance to take the lead, and they waste no time. Bingham again, 80 yards to the house. And this was the point where you started to see the shift, where the Northridge Vikings were most likely going to come out with this win. However, East Knox, they drive down the field, as you're going to see here momentarily. And in a 4th down situation, they find Rush Beatty up the seam for a touchdown to what everyone thought would be to potentially tie it, but they hadn't hit an extra point all game long, so they go for 2, and Jax has no time. And he throws it to a Viking. They'll celebrate and embrace, and that's how it ends with just 25 seconds left. They tried an onside kick, didn't look too pretty. Northridge gets the win. Back-to-back years, they win by 1 over East Knox.
How does your heart not ache for the Bulldogs down in one of the happiest places for high school football in the area? I love Chet Looney Stadium so much. Just the overall mood and the atmosphere after that loss, Jonathan, how do you describe kind of how it all unfolded in Howard?
Yeah, well, I showed up. It was my first time being there for a season opener, and there were a lot of people there. Like, compared to when I was there, I think halfway through the season against Mount Gilead last year, East Knox and Howard really showed out, and I think that definitely helped. I guess it was definitely because the community was coming together anyways for their senior, Aiden Riggle, who is in a battle with cancer. And I think the main thing to take away is the community's really rallied around him, not just in East Knox, but also across the KMAC. I'm pretty sure Fredericktown, in their game against Highland, they wore purple for Aiden. So it's just been awesome seeing that whole thing unfold. And there was a little bit of extra love in the air because of that. And then just to put a bow on that whole Aiden Riggle situation with the family, they put a GoFundMe out about just over a week ago, and it's already raised $27,000 to help his family.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I know that we were promoting it tonight on the Centerburg broadcast, Jonathan. So why don't you stick around and let's show you guys here some more K-Maction coming up. Trojans were at home taking on Utica, looking to get off to a 1-0 start down in the heart of Ohio. Here's how it all unfolded out there here tonight. Here is the Berg at home, and they didn't take long to get the party started in this one. Just 90 seconds in, Hayden Love showing some love to the student section. How about an 80-yard touchdown catch? He would take it in. It is 6-love early on in this competition. Still in the first quarter, though. Centerburg gonna add on to it, and how about a double heart pounder? Hayden Love again, this time 90-yard connection. He'll take it in. The 2-point conversion would be good. It is now 14-zip. Centerburg off to a fantastic start. About 20 minutes of gameplay later, no way. Did he do it again? Number 4 back in the zone, this time from 39 yards. So the love just continued to flow, and stop it. Again, Hayden Love loose in the secondary, makes it 26-0. We got to shut him down. Too much love in the air down there in the heart of Ohio. So they're going to hand it off to Sean Carter. He'll break free, 27 yards to the outside. Unbelievable night for Centerburg. Offensively, defensively, 34-zip. They get the victory. Jonathan, you said that you might have jinxed the Bulldogs tonight. big win, though, tonight for the Trojans, a team that you have seen plenty of over the last couple of years. So they've got some new pieces around. Obviously, Marshall is graduated, but baby, show me the love. How about this kid showing out tonight?
I honestly did not expect a name like Hayden Love to pop up for the Centerburg game tonight. I was thinking like a Jackson Ballinger, the tight end for them, or also Miles Marshall. Blaine Ball, of course, probably did his thing as well. But just every year it feels like Centerburg is able to spawn somebody in to help them out offensively, and Hayden Love seems like he's going to be that guy, having a Parker Weithman type game, as we just talked about Colonel Crawford. But this doesn't surprise me at all with Centerburg. They always return top talent. They're always towards the top of the KMAC. And honestly, in my humble opinion, I think they will end up finishing at the top of the KMAC this year. But of course, Danville, they're going to have something to say about that, and I'm excited to see them next week.
Jonathan Langdon already in prediction form, just week 1 here on the Pigskin. Appreciate the time, buddy. Get some rest. We're going to get back to action again tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take one more timeout. We're going to come back. I've still got a ton of highlights still to come for you guys. We'll show you how the Mohawk favorites fared tonight, the Shelby Whippets. We've also got Monroeville in their home opener. And, oh, by the way, how about a Jardy party still to come, plus some Southeast Ohio highlights. Plenty more still serving up. Hope you're hungry. Next.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient.
Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Back to the Friday Night Pigskin. Huge game went down tonight in the Columbus area. A defending undefeated state champion against a team that made it to the Final Four last year. Bishop Watterson taking on Big Walnut, a game so big they had to move it to a college stadium, and so much media there that the power actually went out, but we're bringing you the power right now. Bryce Coder was down there in Columbus for the game. And even though we didn't have the game live like we wanted to, Bryce, you were there, you saw it, and this was a game of kind of like two storylines. Eagles hot, and then all of a sudden they were not.
Yeah, starting out really hot for Big Walnut, really getting the jump on things, but things starting to turn around for them and not necessarily going their way. A little bit of Murphy's Law on our end, but we're able to get some highlights for you.
All right, let's spin it. Let's show you how it all played out.
Starting off hot, Nolan Burley getting his first touchdown of the season, had 29 rushing touchdowns last year. Only took him about 3 minutes this year after a doink from Watterson on the first possession. Then Brody Hatfield coming in with a touchdown of his own on the way of a pass from Eli Stumpf. But from there, Bishop Watterson never looked back. Drew Belisari, just an incredible quarterback. It seems like besides the one interception that he threw, every single 50-50 ball seemed to go his way. And another one right here. Diving catch, putting the ball exactly where it needed to go. And although Big Walnut had some great moments defensively, they were able to come up with some big red zone stops. It seemed like the momentum was in the hands of Bishop Watterson. Not all bad for them, though. Last time they met last season, Big Walnut lost 20-0. Another great pass right across the middle and to the touchdown, in for the touchdown untouched. But losing 20-0 against Watterson last year, able to get 15 in the first half alone. So a change of pace for them, but from here it was just too much for them to overcome.
What we saw last season after getting off to that slow start, if you will, against a team that went 16-0 and won the state chip, they win 13 straight games, the Eagles did, Bryce. Do you have the sense with all the guys back that similar runs might be ahead in the future?
Yeah, and I definitely saw that. I think there was a big change in tone from last year where Big Walnut kind of had to figure out how good they were, and probably about game 5, 6, or 7 is when they were really rolling and they realized that they could beat just about anybody, and they really came out with that tone in this game tonight where they recognized how good they were. And I was even saying, you know, with the challenge that they're putting up for Bishop Watterson within that first half, they are really going to feel good about the rest of their schedule, especially once they enter conference play.
And then seeing Bishop Watterson with your own eyes, this team coming off an undefeated season, they keep it rolling against a state Final Four team from last year that beat the likes of Massillon to advance there into the Final Four teams. Does this look like another contender to maybe win a second D2 chip?
I think it's definitely likely. I mean, they graduated a lot of guys out. I think it was a total of 18 guys Bishop Watterson graduated out, but just the way they're playing on all cylinders and everybody contributing, not only Belisari, but Jack McCoy really contributing in big ways, both receiving and running the ball, but defensively so sharp. I mean, Nolan Burley ran for 2,200 rushing yards last year and just able to hold him underneath 100. I mean, that says a lot about the defense.
All right, Bryce, definitely looking forward to seeing your Eagle coverage throughout the year. We will be there for the next 9 every single week. Bryce Coder is on the case. We will see you live and free next Friday, my friend.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, so let's go from one set of Eagles, maybe off to a slow start, to some Falcons off to a very hot start as we all projected. And I'm going to bring Travis Berardi into the equation for the first time here tonight over on his stunning new set. And whoa, what a stunning man. Check it out all the way.
I mean, what can you say? You're flattering me. You're flattering me. You're throwing me off right now. But is it safe to say that the Falcons have high expectations once again, Ski? I mean,
Facts.
They pretty much bring everybody back. They bring back their playmakers. And it's just, you know, high hopes there. And it started off just like you expected it as they took on Black River. And let's get right to, I mean, Brian, is it safe to say at least Final Four or bust for this squad? A regional championship with everything that they have coming back?
Well, when you get to the state finals with a team that's a year ahead of schedule, that's at least the thought process and the expectation right now out in Jonesville, and especially with Trevor Klein there at the helm. This is a dude that he just seems to really connect very well out in that community. So as these highlights are about to show, this team is probably destined for a return trip to state.
Yeah, they don't need to overlook anybody, and they did not on this day. Owen Sloan starting off where he left off last year, 4-yard touchdown, 7-0 Hillsdale. Then just a little bit later, well, you know, 1's good, 2's even better. Yeah. Sloan, a 1-yard score, 14-0. Second quarter, another 1-yard rushing touchdown. This is from Cale Lewis, 21-0. And then seconds left in the half, Sloan has his another rushing touchdown on the night, making it 28-0 as you see it right here. I mean, look at the kid run. He's in mid-season form already. And then again, this time from 33 yards out, dodging Pirates left and right to make it into the end zone, ending the first half up 35-0.
Come on now.
Last score of the night from the Falcons, coming from sophomore Davis Radcliffe. Get the sophomore in here too. 16-yard touchdown catch from Cale Lewis. 42-0. 4:30 left in the third quarter. 3 minutes left in the third. Black River did get on the board, though. A 24-yard touchdown catch by Zane Bungard outruns everybody, makes the score 42-7, and they would get one more score here. Dozier Hendershot, what a name, 1-yard score, but it was all Falcons, 42-12. Caw-caw! Starting off exactly how we expected them to, Brian. 42-12. And, you know, Owen Sloan did his thing, Knox Lewis, but it was more the Owen Sloan show, Brian. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep giving it to him, right?
It's called meeting expectations. It was such a shame, even though nobody was going to beat Marion Local last year, to see a hobbled Owen Sloan in that state championship game just not be able to run at his full force. So when this kid, when he's filling at about 100%, you can look out. He might be the best running back in the area from top to bottom, and with all the other weapons that they have back, certainly the Falcons are a team to reckon with. But maybe so could a team that you saw tonight,
yes, sir,
playing in their home opener and
yes,
one of the longest rivalries still going in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, we have the ability this year, the pleasure to cover Orrville, a team that just won a state championship in D5 in 2018. They took on Wooster, a very, very old rival. And here's a stat that Andy Giardi gave me right as we started. The first time in 99 years it was first-year head coach versus first-year head coach. How about that? That's how long this rivalry has gone. That 99 years wasn't even the first year we did it. But let's get to the highlights, and I'll show you what I'm talking about between these two great teams. The 114th edition of Wooster versus Orrville. Wow. This, sir, is the 13th longest rivalry in all of Ohio, and Ohio's had some great football. And this one really had its highlights. Orrville last year, they won handedly, missed the playoffs by one spot, but they're looking to get in this year. First score of the night, Parker Hostetler makes it 6-0, but the Generals will answer a penalty, put them back on 4th down. However, they get the field goal made by Jake Vermaeten, made it 6-3. Next possession, Hostetler again from a yard out, 2-point conversion good, 14-3. Ensuing kick after Orrville was hit with a 15-yard penalty, backing them up. Logan Gattuso takes advantage, gets to the outside, somehow avoids the tackler and stays in bounds, then works his way to pay dirt. He is in prior to fumbling 72 yards, 14-9. But again, Orrville back at you. Cam Kraft to the back corner. Braylon McDuffie makes the grab while being grabbed. 10 yards, it's 21-9. You'll see more from him here shortly. Ensuing possession, Wooster looking to answer back, but the throw on the run is wild, and Case McDaniel picks it off, and he is on the run, hits the afterburners. I don't even think he's going to be untouched, 68 yards to the house, and a back-breaking score, 28-9. Ensuing Wooster possession, and it's feeling like Groundhog Day for the Generals. This time McDuffie on the other side of the field, and he is off to the races. Gets a couple of blocks, then the man is going to show off some moves right here. Cut back, and let's hit the circle button. Whoop!
Come on
Jaunts into the end zone, 34-9. Orrville rolls 56-23 to knock off its rival once again. A team that was chomping at the bit to get this season started. Upper Sandusky just squeaked by them for the 16th spot in their region last year. Just missed out on the playoffs, and they got some playmakers, let me tell you. Parker Hostetler, 21 carries, 142 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But Mr. Skowronski, I did not choose him as my Phenom nomination. What? You want to know why? Because this guy right here coming up is my nominee, and that is Braylon McDuffie. You want to know why?
I do.
Well, it's because he had 7 catches.
That's a lot.
72 yards.
That's plenty.
2 tutties.
That's
cool. A couple of those catches came on 3rd and long as well.
Yes.
But not only that, he had that 72-yard pick 6. He is an athlete out there. He actually lowered the boom on a clean hit earlier on. The kid is just an all-around athlete, and here he is right here. First, that back corner touchdown. He was getting grabbed all the time. 3 times he could have had touchdowns wide open, but they pulled on him to get past interference, so he would not get past them. He did finally score twice, and then this pick 6, I mean, the kid's got all the moves. He's got the size, the athletic ability, and then just watch him with the speed, the finesse, the juke, and then, the circle button right there to get inside. He broke multiple tackles in this game, but Orrville, they got a running back, they got athletic wide receiver. Their line is pretty darn good as well. This may be an Orrville squad that we're lucky to come on with this year, because I think they have a chance of doing some special things.
Yeah, it looks like we picked them up at just the right time.
Yeah.
More special memories to come out there in Red Rider country.
And Mr. Skowronski, before you let me go, may I say one shout-out? Well, 2 shout-outs. First, the defending regional champs, the Northmore Golden Knights.
Shout out.
I have to shout out my Golden Knights. 16-0 victors over Upper Sandusky.
Let's go.
Despite losing everybody, a great start, keeps their regular season win streak alive. And also, welcome back Scott Spittler. Fredericktown knocks off Highland tonight. I believe it's 21-6. The Freddies, a huge opening night victory. Coach Spittler already showing the Freddies his coaching, and the Freddies showing him what they can do. Great win for Fredericktown. Now I will send it back over to you, Mr. Skowronski, to take us home.
All right. Actually, we're not even close to going home
True,
yet. I've still got plenty of highlights coming up. So we talked about a couple of different birded creatures, or feathered creatures, I should say, off to great starts. Well, Josh Banks, you saw another one tonight as well at Damash in Monroeville. So what are we looking at here with the Eagles coming off of a fantastic year in 2024? What do you feel like they're made of here after 1 week?
It's similar to River Valley. You're replacing an all-Ohio quarterback in Evan Benford. You got a new guy that comes in and does exactly what he's supposed to do. I said talking to coaches, this team is poised to be 9-0 when they run into St. Paul in Week 10. Ooh. And the highlights you're getting ready to watch are going to tell you why. Call of the night.
Yeah.
McComb comes out, 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and I'm thinking McComb's ranked 7th in the state in D7.
Let's go.
They're going to run away with this game. Well,
not so fast, my friend.
Monroeville had other ideas. As Colton Cleary's going to take it in from about 3 yards out, it's 7-6. Now you're going to see Grady Schroeder, 2,000 all-purpose yards and 20 touchdowns last year. Punches one in from 2 yards out, 13-6. McComb, River Valley's going to answer as Colton Clark, the junior quarterback, runs it in from 20. And that's his first touchdown of the night, not his last. Monroeville takes over from there. Connor Boers, speed galore for this young man, 45 yards untouched to the house. But they're still not done. They score on 3 consecutive drives as toe drag swag here. Schroeder finds Smith in the back of the end zone, gets the left foot down. Doesn't matter. Boers, don't let the man get in space. He runs by the entire secondary, cuts it outside, stays in bounds. 75 yards. And to cap it off, you're going to see Colton Clark again. You're going to see him get in from 2 yards. But here's the 80 yards that happened before the 2. I don't think he stepped out. You'll see it right here. I think he toe tapped the whole way down the sideline. They said he stepped out about the 2, but it doesn't matter. He's going to cap it off on the very next play. And then you're going to see Colton Cleary take it in from 2 yards out. That'll end the scoring for Monroeville. They score 33 points in the second half.
And they're going to be at home next week against Calvert, coming off of a loss. And then on the road, Seneca East and South Central back-to-back. The only winner in that group, Seneca East, and they scored a grand total of 2 points tonight, I'm told. So I think looking forward, the Eagles probably do get off to a really hot start, and with some new pieces in the lineup, they can build some momentum.
Yeah, Colton Clark goes for 17 carries, 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns tonight. And the fact that Connor Boers had 10 carries for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. They didn't complete a single pass tonight, Brian.
That's
475 yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground. And they also had 3 interceptions defensively.
Pretty special night for the Eagles. Maybe going to be in the mix again for another conference championship.
Them in St. Paul at the end of the year. That's going to be the game to be at Week 10.
And you know that we're going to have that one for you live and free, of course. All right, let's shift gears from one conference champion from 2024 to another conference champion in 2024 in the MOAC, that being the Shelby Whippets. And when people are talking to me about the Whippets, they're not asking, do you think they'll defend the MOAC crown? They're kind of already just putting their name on the trophy. They're asking, are they state Final Four material? And after what you saw from them tonight, it's hard to disagree with anybody that is taking that stance. As they were on the road tonight, over at StarTech Stadium in Shelby, set the tone early, forcing a fumble on the very first play of the game, which led to an easy 7-yard touchdown run by who else? That dude. That's not a cape. That's just Braden DeVito setting up the throw to Michael Shepard, and the Whippets are on the board. After a 3 and out from Madison, Shelby would march right back down the field, and former Madison Ram Gavin Baker able to score a 12-yard rushing touchdown. This would bring the score up to 14-zip in favor of the Whippets. Madison finally able to get a little momentum off of a 49-yard rush here from Caleb Gordon, who then finished off the drive with a 13-yard rushing touchdown. And you're like, uh-oh, maybe the Rams are going to make this a game. It would be 14-7 after this tutty run right here. But Shelby would immediately answer the call back after recovering an onside kick with a 49-yard touchdown. DeVito hooking up with Brady Bowman. Get ready to hear that a lot this season. They would miss the PAT, but it would not matter. After another stop from the defense, Shelby right back down the field into the red zone, and DeVito into the end zone from 5 yards out. 28-7 is the count, and the Shelby defense, they would do it again. Off this punt, Shelby works down the field to Gavin Baker. Second rushing touchdown of the night against his old school. And then DeVito doing DeVito-like things to Mr. Bowman. This from 36 yards out. We're only at the half, folks. It's 42-7. And then Shelby would come out quickly. 17 yards. Luke Blevins to put him up 49-7. Issue that running clock, and the defense just too much for the Rams tonight, as they would bring in their second stringers. That's Trent Rodman hitting Caden Paz for the touchdown, 56-7. Finally, though, Madison, they would get Colton Atkins into the end zone way too little, too late. 56-14. That is your final score. A really special night here for Shelby, but as expected, right, Josh? I don't think that you talked to anybody in the communities that have seen each of these teams in the build-up here to week one that thought this was not going to be the case.
I mean, Shelby's the favorite to win the MOAC for a reason, and I think we've seen and talked about every team in the MOAC. I don't think there's a team that's going to be able to athletically play with the Whippets at all this year.
We're going to find out here pretty early on in the season. They do have some interesting matchups as the season continues to roll along, including against Lexington. So I would love to see the outcome of that one and kind of who gets sprungboard off of that one. And maybe the other team, is it back to the drawing board for them, at least internally? These are young kids that we're talking about, two teams that feel like they have the potential to win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, when do you go back to the drawing board? You've got Shelby Lex. It's going to be the matchup to look at. It's going to be the best matchup in the area when it happens. Whichever one of those teams wins that game is more than likely going to go 10-0. That will be the one loss that those teams suffer this year.
So we feel like the MOAC favorite is the Shelby Whippets, but maybe people are sleeping on those Galion Tigers. They woke up in a major way tonight in their first game of the season against St. Mary's Memorial. I'll just let the moving pictures do the talking for you and show you exactly how they got off to a fantastic start. Early touchdowns here from 5 yards out. Kind of digging the unis too. The helmets are a new look as well, but it's the same old Kurt Hay making it 6-0. Aiden Schmidt now with a just 1 yard run. 2-point conversion, good. 14-zip, Tigers out in front. Schmidt this time gonna unleash one to his favorite target, Jacob, into the chambers. 50-yard touchdown pass, zoom. Boy, so much rainbow underneath that, and then Chambers would know what to do with it. Kurt Hay later on in the game gonna rip off an 85-yard touchdown run. This will extend the Tigers' lead out to 28-0. St. Mary's wouldn't get shut out on the night. Caleb Schmidt eventually is going to get a 6-yard rushing touchdown that you guys are about to see. Extra point, no good. But the Tigers, they get it done. Both sides of the football, 35-6 your final count here, Josh. And I definitely feel like from talking to some coaches and some other media members that Galion may be the second best team in the MOAC and a top contender after what they showed in their scrimmages. Actually really put it to Lexington in the trenches, and they looked pretty awesome tonight.
I think other than Shelby to logjam for that 2 spot in the MOAC, Harding's going to be really good if they can put it together. River Valley's good. You know, Ontario ran into a very talented Lexington team tonight. Galion's good. All these teams are going to compete. It's who's going to knock off who. On any given night, these are 14 to 18-year-old kids. Shelby could get upset by a Harding, by a Galion, by a River Valley on any given night. We don't know what's going to happen, and Galion proved tonight, hey, you lost your stud in Braxton Prosser, who's a Division I baseball player. Aiden Schmidt stepped up and did exactly what he was supposed to do, and some of those big plays, are coming from sophomores. So they got a lot to look forward to over in Galion.
Yeah, plenty of potential. So it looks like the Tigers under Matt Dick, they're going to be a playoff team yet again. It's just kind of a matter of how high up in that Region 14 can they put themselves by season's end. Well, the Lucas Cubs, they've kind of changed things around. Obviously, they got a second-year coach in Mr. Sweat, and they're not quite going everywhere all over the state to play anybody, but they got a taker from right within the county, from at the top, Plymouth, coming down to Bob Wine Field tonight to take on the Lucas Cubs, who they've normally been pretty good there, right, Josh? Well, that was kind of the case again tonight. Let's show you how the Cubs got it done with a nice Week 1 victory at home. Just always a great place, amazing atmosphere to take in a contest, but especially when dudes like Tim Daly are doing what he does right here. It's the same old funky bunch inside for the Cubs, just kind of pushing their way to freedom. 7 yards into the end zone there, they would go for 2. It's 8-zip, and oh, those tricky Cubs, the onside kick. Look at them go. They get the ball, and Tim Daly getting the rock, so why not feed him again? This time, a little bit more grass in front of him. He'll sprint 30 yards into the zone. The block on the edge tells you everything that you need to know to set that up, and the defensive back doesn't even want to get up. He's so disappointed in how that thing ended. But how about a new name? Carter Cox, playing a little bit of defense right here, and he's got the football heading the other way. Pretty much half of a football field. Taking it back to set up the Cubs with another rushing touchdown. Daly again from 7 yards out. It's going to make it 30-zip here. Anthony Finello getting involved. This is a 17-yard touchdown run. So you know when it's Lucas, it's not just going to be one name or two names. They got about 15 ball carriers all having their fun in the sun, and still daylight out there as you can see. But was this a pass? How about Cooper Day with the snag? He'll get loose 36 yards into the zone, and we'll cap off the highlight with Brady Giegold. He will take it half the length of the field in the second half. This is just quarter number 3. All the other highlights were in the first 2 quarters alone. Knock it off. Don't even try to tackle me. I'm gone. I'm ghost. I'm into the end zone. And the Cubs, they are partying again. They might have ran out of fireworks tonight at Bob Wine Field. I'm told that they actually did. So it is nice to see Lucas get off to this start yet again. We have been accustomed to seeing them in the playoffs, of course, double-digit seasons in a row, but I like kind of like scaling back a little bit. They've been playing Division II, Division III schools. They're driving here, there, everywhere, crossing borders. Cubs staying close to home tonight, playing a county rival, and this is more like it. They're a D7 team, playing a D7 team, and typically this is what happens in the playoffs, Josh, so the Cubs kind of flexing a bit tonight.
Yeah, the Cubs doing what the Cubs do. It's about as good as it gets for them. Coach Sweat's been on the staff for years. He was there with Coach Spittler. And when the Cubs can throw the ball, like they did in that highlight to Cooper Day, they're one of the best D7 teams in North Central Ohio. So you got 4 running backs, a quarterback that can sling it. Look out for the Cubs the rest of the way.
And that's because they got phenoms and top plays galore. Let's show you one that we're going to put up for a nominee coming on the podcast on Monday. I think you know where this one's going. Maybe you don't. How about Tim Daly? 3 rushing touchdowns on the night. He would explode for over 170 rushing yards as well. So even though Lucas, they spread the wealth and there's a lot of different ball carriers, they tend to have a bell cow, and I think it's going to be this guy this year.
It's going to be Tim Daly, but you've got 3 other guys that can do it. That's the best part. You've got 3 other guys that can carry the load. You got 3 other guys that can, and they're all returners. Brady Giegold, Tim Daly, Finello. All these guys are guys that were there last year with Coach Sweat in his first year and kind of got to experience that low season. Now they're right back on top, and don't expect them to stop anytime soon.
That's right. So the Cubs are back, baby. We will show you that top play on Monday, but we've got a guy, he has been patiently waiting all night long. Actually, we still got 2 guys, but I want to bring in the newest OH reporter first. You heard him on some broadcasts with me during baseball and softball season, and now he's down a big sophomore at Ohio University, and he's going to be covering some Southeast all the way to Columbus area high school football games for us on Friday night. So Mr. Evan Johnson, let me see you, man. Where you been, and how were things tonight for your first night back on campus? Oh, it looks like he's had enough. Let's just leave him up there, though. And does someone want to talk for Evan on behalf of him? That'd be fun. Travis is like, nah, dude. I won't play no pranks. Hey!
There
Whoa,
he
he's
is.
moving, so we can't even make fun of him. Hey, what's up, EJ, man? Where'd you go tonight? Evan, can you hear me, sir? You, if you turn up the speakers, you probably hear me better. All right, he's gone again, but we've got this handsome devil right there. Let's just start it. Can we get the party going? I know that it's after 1:20 a.m. This man is still alive, awake, alert, enthusiastic. Mr. Andrew Jardy. What's going on, man? Woo! Talk to me, my friend. How are things on the west side of Cleveland tonight?
I cannot hear you, Brian. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We're working on it. Tech support is on top of it because we couldn't cap off a Friday Night Pigskin show without a Jardy party, of course. So, what would you guys like me to do? We don't have any more highlights. All we have left are those 2 handsome gents, and if Evan, can you hear me now? Yes, he can. Can I get some volume from Evan, though? All right. Now, can you tell me where it was that Evan Johnson was at tonight?
Well, I went to Circleville today. Had a great game to cover. Warren versus Circleville. A TSL versus a MSL matchup. It was just great to be back out on the football field again. I had chills when I heard the first shoulder pads hit.
Yeah, it's a really special time of year, of course. And for you, I mean, OH Report covers a pretty big landscape, but explain to the folks out there that are watching right now just how many teams and conferences you guys all cover down at OU.
Yeah, we try to cover the 740 area code area, so we cover about 76 teams. We try to we make sure we see each team once each season. We're just reporting, so we have a live show as well as you guys every Friday night. We have a lot of digital content, video recaps, written recaps. So yeah, we just try to get as much conferences and teams as we can reach within basically a 2-hour radius.
And I'm told that we do have your highlight lined up, Evan Johnson. So let's see exactly
There we go.
what went down tonight in Circleville. Hit it.
Here we are, Circleville, the Tigers, and starting it off. Hunkston, bro, he just was mowing through
Can you hear me now?
them. And then here is just a magical run. I mean, he's going to play action. He's coming back. An easy tip to the end zone. This was to make it 7-6 early in the game. That was all we saw from the first half. We had this chip-in field goal. It was 9-7, Circleville going to halftime. And then this is when the action started happening. Right away, one of our all-GG preseason guys, I mean, hits the nasty spin move, takes it all the way to the crib, and that's just starting the second half. And then Circleville with the response. I mean, just the deep ball. That's the first time we kind of seen either team throw all day. Definitely a ground and pound teams. And it was just a beautiful pass to get it going. And then to finish off the drive, some hard-nosed tackle football, just running through the line. And everyone needs to learn the kid of this name, Eric Adams. He is just mowing through kids. I mean, look how many defenders it takes to take him down. It was like this the entire game. And then we finally saw some chaos. We see a nice flea flicker. Then we see the punch out, unable to recover it. And this was just a crucial moment in the fourth quarter. But unfortunately, Circleville was able to hold on for the win, 16-15. Just a kind of an odd scored game. We had a safety thrown in there off of a blocked punt that was kicked out of the end zone. Just a lot of weird circumstances in this game.
Yeah, kind of a crazy finish, and I love that you said that mayhem at the end of the game there, just diving on top of the football, popping out instead of what could have been kind of a game-changing touchdown. All just kind of changes the fortunes there. But that's Friday night football for you and in week one. So just as far as expectations for you moving forward, these are two new teams for us on the OH Report. Who do you think comes away with more wins when it's all said and done based on what you saw tonight?
I really love this Circleville team. They have their new head coach, Jay Sherritt. He coached for 35 years at Pickerington Central. He built that dynasty, and he decided he was done coaching. And then he went back home and decided he wanted to coach for his alma mater. And so they are a really well-run organization right now. They have some talented guys, but having that just head coaching experience of basically a legend in Central Ohio, coaching us these smaller divisions. I had the chance to talk to him after the game, and he just had nothing but great things to say about this team, this program, and this community. And for the MSL, I think they were 3-7 last year, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year.
All right, man, we'll definitely keep an eye on them, and looking forward to talking to you each week, Evan. And it's going to be new teams, but a whole lot of different sauce down there in Southern Ohio, man. Keep up the good work. We'll see you again next Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we go from the deep south of Ohio all the way up to the shores of Lake Erie. It's the moment that I've been waiting for. We tried to get the party started. Let's see if we can do it now.
Oh, hey.
Hey!
Bad news, though. I still cannot hear you. I just see that I'm now suddenly on screen. So this could... I hear Adam, producer, director extraordinaire, perfectly fine. But Brian, I see your lips moving, but I can't make out the words.
Well, tell Andy to go ahead and go through his top highlights rundown.
The no huddle headlines. Here we go. Got a couple things to rattle off for you guys here. Where else would we start than Marion Local? Once again, the winning streak continues. It's reached 65 after a 56-0 win tonight over South Adams from Indiana. They're done beating teams in Ohio. They've now expanded outside of state borders, and they're pummeling teams out of state now. So Marion Local, once again, winning. Kirtland, speaking of streaks, they win tonight 30-7 at Central Clarion. That is now Kirtland's 49th straight road victory. So hats off to them. And you saw some of the highlights of it earlier on the show here tonight. But how about Lexington? Their big rivalry win over Ontario, snapping a 3-game skid. 4 interceptions on the night by the Minutemen. Big win for Lexington. And then we're going to my alma mater. Northwood starts the year off 1-0 in head coach Ken James's 40th season. That's right, 4-0 at the helm of the Northwood Rangers. They win at Rossford, and Northwood now joins the Sandusky Bay Conference in the River Division this season, so we might see them pop up against some teams down in our coverage area, which I am very much looking forward to. And how about the kickers tonight? Norwalk's Tommy Vanderpool, a 36-yard field goal in overtime over Toledo Start, and then Clear Fork, Nash Evans, the big game winner to knock off Perkins. What an upset win that was. And then in terms of some weird scores tonight, this is not a baseball show. This is our football show. Seneca East beat Crestview 2-0, and Smithville beat Tuslaw 3-0. So, how about that?
How about that? Some crazy headlines for you, but I'm ready to get dandy. Andy, who'd you find this week?
Well, for our Andy's Dandies of this week, we will start at the game that I was at, Orrville and Wooster. And I got to go with Parker Hostetler, 21 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a big win for the Red Riders over the Generals. This thing got out of hand quickly in the second quarter. Hostetler had himself an impressive game on the ground. Wooster had no way to stop him all night. Moving on to Crestview, not the Cougars, but the Knights. Braxton Leap, how about this, setting school records for rushing yards with 408, and he had 7 touchdowns in a 62-41 win over Parkway. My third Andy's Dandy of the night goes to Mr. Nash Evans of Clear Fork with that game-winning field goal over Perkins. They're still partying in the Valley. Great game to have on the OH Report tonight, too. What a finish that was. Travis and I caught the end of it there, and what a fun atmosphere that looked like. And what a moment, too. Like a game-winning field goal, you just don't see those too often at the high school level. That's a beautiful thing to see. Lexington talked about their big win. Avery Crawford, 2 of the 4 interceptions in their win over their rival Ontario. And my final Andy's Dandy of the night, I don't have a stat line for you, but I think just on the name alone, we can expect big things. Westerville North's C.J. Wells, first high school game, the son of, you guessed it, Beanie Wells. We are getting old, everybody, that now his son is playing at the high school level. But congratulations on the beginning of your career, and I know a lot of people are excited.
Yeah, if you can just translate to Andy, congratulations to him for a job well done. And we look forward to partying with him many more Fridays.
I can't wait to hear you, Brian. It's going to be great when I can hear you.
What a special thing it's going to be. All right, Andy Jardy closing out the show here with the party. It has been a wild week 1 here on the OH Report. We're going to get this thing dialed in. Won't have nearly as many games and things to get to since we had the Thursday night games and then all the Friday ones coming up, but it's going to be jam-packed and a whole lot of fun. Got to give a shout-out to Joshua Banks hanging out with us here late night, 1:30 in the morning. Travis Berardi is still here. Ladies and gentlemen, a tip of the cap to him over on his beautiful new set. Andy still out there. A shout-out to my boy. Still looking good. And he's got one more thing.
One more Andy's Dandy. Travis's mega desk. Is he like commanding a Star Destroyer with that thing? What are we doing? My goodness.
And last but not least, we don't got no cameras on them, but behind the scenes, Adam and Jory trying to keep us afloat. I'm Brian Skowronski, thanking you for tuning in for week 1. Long way to go. 12 more episodes on the way. We'll see you back here next Friday night on the Pigskin, presented by our friends at Spherion. Good night, everybody.
Can I try to talk to Brian?
I'll come over there now.
Hey, does your checking account pay you with real cash rewards with no monthly maintenance fees ever? Bummer. Ask for Kasasa Rewards Checking. It's our superpower.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Hi guys, I need you all to have a foam finger. At Mechanics Bank, we're all about the community. Whether it's supporting our local teams or cheering you on in life, we're here for you in every victory, big or small. Mechanics Bank! That's better.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, our caring professionals are ready to serve you with personally tailored services designed to meet the unique needs of each individual. When we take on a patient at Avita Home Health and Hospice, they really do feel like family. So when we take care of our family, we want to take care of the whole person. So we take care of them from our nurses, our aides, our physical, occupational, and speech therapists, but we also have people that tend to their hearts. So we have social workers, we have chaplains, and people that can help with the emotional side of their care.
At Avita Home Health and Hospice, we have a dedicated team that takes care of you. Caring for the whole person is our promise to you. From social and emotional well-being to the way the patient relates to their loved ones, we treat your family like our family.
Serving patients and their families wherever they call home, including assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Call 1-800-4NURSES to see if Avita can help administer your plan of custom care.
In business and ag banking, it's not just about the numbers, it's about the people. At First Federal Community Bank, we believe relationships are the foundation of every successful partnership. We can help you grow your farm through various ag programs, including working with our local FSA offices, as well as Farmer Mac. We have many commercial business programs to help make your day-to-day operations easy and convenient. Because when you bank with us, you're not just a customer, you're family.
When it comes to comfort, every degree matters. At Buckeye Horizon, we proudly install and maintain train heating and cooling systems built to last, engineered for performance. And with our expert service, your home stays comfortable year-round. No matter the season, we'll keep your system running at its best. Call Buckeye Horizon at 419-529-2738, your local trained comfort specialist.
Chillin'